So as you can see, my computer is still not set up, but I will be getting it set up very soon. Probably won't be any gaming videos today, but there will be some stream stuff going on probably much later tonight. But that leads me to what this entire video's point is outside of that, which is the whole Lance Armstrong thing. I was actually out eating and I saw it on the TV a few days ago, so I did a little bit of research into the subject, and I do believe he's innocent for a few reasons. One, all of the tests that say that he officially did drugs that caused him to get better times, etc., are underneath a ton of scrutiny and apparently have been found to be like really unreliable, really bad testing, not really done properly, used like DNA and blood and stuff like that was improperly stored from like 4 and 5 years ago, etc. Two, if the guy was, a lot of people use this as evidence. They say like, well, he gave up fighting and stuff like that, so that means he's guilty. Well, the thing is, you know, if you look at his demeanor and you look at his personality, you look at the way that he's kind of like carrying himself, he doesn't really seem to be guilty. That's just my personal opinion. Like if he was really guilty, wouldn't he continue to fight this and like hold on desperately and so forth to try and like make sure it's happening, rather than go out with the confidence of like, I know I won those. I know, you know, that my friends know I won those, my family knows, etc. You know, it's like, why would he do that? Second is that it really seems harsh to ban him for life from cycling, which makes me think more that the Drug Administration Board, if that's, you know, like, I forget if that exactly is what it's called the USADA, etc. It seems more like they're kind of out to get him for not only his high profileness, but sort of like to make an example of him. Because when you think of cycling, do you think of anybody but Lance Armstrong? Seriously? Like, can you name one other prominent cycling person? And if you can, you're probably into cycling some, because I'm not at all, and I can't name another damn person at all. And I'm sure most of you can't name another person that's really prominent in cycling. So, you know, that's pretty much going to make everybody's focus on him in that sport, and I think that they nailed him like this to make him an example to other people that do performance-enhancing drugs, to be like, hey, we're not afraid to ban you for life in this sport. But that seems like such a harsh punishment for somebody who basically single-handedly popularized that sport over like the past 10 years. And especially, if this guy wanted to do drugs to get these times, you know, why would he promote such the reverse on his entire, like, live strong philosophy? Why would he go through all that to do that? Wouldn't he realize that'd be like a career-failing move to promote all the live strong thing and then do this? Like, wouldn't he realize that'd be like a terrible idea? Not to mention that personally, if it was me, one of the main reasons I don't do any drugs is because I had my heart attack. And this guy barely made it out of testicular cancer. So it's like, after you've made it out of something life-threatening like that, do you really want to go and do drugs that could potentially cost you not only your career but your life? I mean, that's pretty illogical there. If you made it out of something like that, you know, you wouldn't really want to do that. And on a last note, I think that he's innocent because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in sports where people really, you know, like it's sort of like celebrity stuff. Like, somebody can say one bad thing about a person, and then it just accelerates, and then everybody starts to like believe it, and they all kind of go like, this guy must be this way, or he must be that way, or whatever else, you know? And it's like, I think that's kind of what happened to him, is, again, he's the most prominent person in biking that I've ever heard of, in cycling, etc. And I think that it could be a case that a lot of other people got jealous, a lot of people got butthurt, etc., that he was so prominent, that he was so dominant, that all those people that are saying, I was doping with him, stuff like that, you know, he just did that. I mean, there's been multiple trials, large trials over the past few decades where people will say something like, I saw this person do this, or I knew that this person did this, etc., and then after the court trial's over and after this person's had their bad name, like, or their good name, like, destroyed, like, well, they didn't really do it, or I just said that to get the money, or I just said that because I thought they did it, I didn't really actually have any proof. And that's the really, like, bad thing about it, because, you know, stuff like that goes on all the time, and I think that's kind of what he's, like, a victim of here, too. Now, I'm not really into cycling at all. I don't have some huge hard-on for Lance Armstrong. I don't find kinship with him because I fucking lost a testicle and stuff like that, too. I'm just saying, honestly, how I think it is after I've researched into the subject some. So, take that as you want. But I really do think that they are shooting themselves in the foot here by banning him for life from cycling. I know that he's basically already wanted to retire anyways, but it's like, you know, you kind of just not like a lot of people are not really going to care about cycling now if he's not into it. I mean, that sounds really like harsh, but yeah, that's kind of how it is. I mean, I'm sorry to tell you, in my opinion, Lance Armstrong is cycling, like in the popular media. I'm sure that millions of other people will still care about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like people only care about it because of him, but I'm saying the popular media, the popular, you know, watchers, etc., you know, the mass amount of people mainly knew about it because of Lance Armstrong. And, you know, you can't really deny that. It's like how majority of people who watch basketball, you know, a large amount of them who only watch it casually, the casual watchers only know about it because of Michael Jordan or Larry Bird. Or now in today's times, you've got people whose names I can't even remember, which is pretty sad because my family talks about basketball all the time, and I should remember these names because I've heard them a bajillion times, but I can't think of them now, which is really terrible. Anyways, so that's the whole thing there. I honestly can't remember these guys' names, and I've heard them a bajillion trillion times. Why can't I remember like famous basketball star players' names right now? I've heard them a million times. This is ridiculous. Anyways, speaking of basketball too, I have yet to put up that interview of Reeves from UCLA. I have yet to put up his interview. Got to do that. Anyways, that's about it. And I will talk to all of you later, and there's hopefully going to be a stream tonight, and even if there isn't one, I'm going to try really hard to do one. If there's not one, I'm going to be streaming a lot more frequently either way, and the game videos should start up tomorrow because I will have my computer up tonight. So, sorry for the lack of video game videos today. But yeah, and that's about it. What if people used Morse code with their tongues? Like, what if you had like a Morse code thing where like instead of using your fingers, you had to use your tongue, and so you'd be like, and so you'd have like all these like army generals like walking around a base and stuff like that, and like back in the old days or whatever else, and they'd be like, you know, like, sir, you'd be like, oh my God, we've got to get there right now. Tell him this. Be like, right, sir, I got it exactly. And he just runs off. Like, can you imagine that, like that scene? But like, since it would be like the norm, it would be dead fucking serious. It wouldn't even be funny. It would be like, seriously, you'd have like all these like people like in like Morse code training camp, like 50 people set up in a row, and they'd just be like, and then the teacher would be like, no, you must go, etc. Like, can you seriously think about that? Because I think that would be fucking amazing. I think I should do like a full story on that and just like act that out, and I think that'd be great, like as an animatic, have an animation of that. So, yeah. Anyways.